All right, that music notes the change of class to qualifying 3 for the unlimited category. Jacob Simmons out of Hawke's Bay, the student. Paul Newman, the network engineer, out on track at the moment. 950 horsepower with the LSA 6.2 litre Chev in the Stinger hull. Jacob Simmons, not too bad there. He could have done that a little bit better. Normally, we saw him last season in a Group B that's got about 500 horsepower. Now he's got double that available to him and really is doing a wonderful job behind the wheel. Just super impressed from the time I saw this man hit the racetrack for the first time. 52.711, 52.711 for Jacob Simmons and Paul Newman. This is Kyle, Too Many Pies. Patrick, the man from the US with the one-eyed navigator, Darren Toddy Todd. Third time out on track, the twin turbo package that he's had for a number of years has had a complete refreshing out of engine rebuilders out of Wanganui. It has been transplanted to a brand new hull here this weekend for Kyle Patrick. Now that he's got a bit of pace up the boat, really starting to understand how this boat's working. Wow, really nice around the top part of the track, very wide around the hairpin. Gets it back under control. Kyle Patrick, 1,500 horsepower, is available at the touch of his right foot. Little bit of a wiggle and a wobble and a slow thought process there into that right hand. It was late into there. But Kyle Patrick, oh, that's a good time for Kyle, 51.085. He and Darren Todd will be absolutely wrapped with that. So the people in North America will be supporting the contractor from Positive Electrics out of Oregon in the United States. Great to see the world of jet sprinting getting smaller and smaller as we can connect with people around the world live streaming. G'day to everybody at home. So we are now going to go with Bevan Mueller. Bevan Mueller, bloody hell. I don't know where I got that from. I think I got that confused a little bit with Bevan Mueller, Valley Toyota. Somehow I got that completely cutty-wampus there.
Half of the day.
Geez, we're in qualifying 3 for the unlimited super boats and I'm starting to trip over my words already, so this is going to bode well for a great afternoon of racing. It is Bevan Mueller and Aaron Costello. So this brand new package, I'll just take a quick break. I'll just have a chat to the co-commentator here for a sec. Has not been on the track for 3 years. Bevan Mueller has taken advantage of that, got it looking sensational, 52.965. So they've done a lot of work out of the Mueller garage and Team Tools Racing to get this one sorted out and looking sensational out on the water as we go liquid strip racing with Moogie Greg Morgan. Boat 44 now coming into the start chute. limiter in the Blown Beast out of Auckland. Eden Kerner doing the navigational duties. I love the thump of the blown engine. A lot of weight to carry on top of the engine. It's like a reverse pendulum up the top there. The boat very, very bouncy out of the donut at the top part of the course. So Greg Morgan, his first event at Waitara, saw him spit this boat straight up the top of the track, rolled it over. He learned a fair bit from that one. Greg Morgan certainly not afraid of getting up on the blown. And a 50.657 there for Greg Morgan and Eden Kerner. Hey, as soon as Greg Morgan can't hear what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, I think he's ugly enough to scare a bulldog out of a butcher shop, that bloke. Just a personal opinion. You don't need to take any notice of me, though. All right, it is Paddy Hayden in the Schizo machine behind the helm. This boat just looks beautiful. That's bright, beautiful red full PSP building brands. Cole Hayden, his son, in the navigator seat. Cole Hayden, an incredibly accurate shot, competes in the various rifle competitions around New Zealand, and he's certainly making his name for himself in that sport, and now making a name for himself in the world of V8 jet sprinting. And Paddy Hayden from TA, round the speed bowl, reverse he goes, and that is a good time for Paddy Hayden with a 48.203. They'll be wrapped with that one. So Paddy Hayden, sponsored by BD's Tinting and Graphics, Otrahongo Auto Electrics, Colour FX Spray Painting, Dairy Tech, CHL and Upholstery, PSP Drainage Systems Limited, Biolytic, GJ Gardner Homes, Magnum Automotive and New Dick Sheet Metals. As we go to the silent assassin of Glenn Head and Hayley Todd. The pair from Hamilton, Glenn Head, the engineer, Hayley Todd, the radiographer from Hamilton. Was a world champion back in 2016. Spent most of last season on the trailer, did Glenn, a pretty serious back operation. Or a little bit of, got the bow of the boat just ducked down as he got off it. So Glenn Head in this twin turbo for Altherm Window Systems. Glenn Head now in the run for home. What is the time going to say? Oh, quick time, 45.912. And made it look easy. Q3. I'm predicting by the end of the day that Glenn Head will get this down into a 43-second run. Wow. Kevin Roberts now the Foxton Flyer. Kendra Death doing the navigational duties. Twin turbos, Nissan power plant, 53 Productions, the Stinger machine, the 9-inch hydro pump is the jet unit. Kevin Roberts certainly slowly but surely increasing, getting the times down, getting better and better with every race meeting. The experienced navigator of Kendra Death certainly working very well with this team. Kendra been around the sport for a number of years now and has been navigating for various boats throughout New Zealand, and this team seem to be working very, very well together indeed. So Kevin Roberts across the line. He'll be wrapped with that 51.496. I think that Kendra Death certainly assisting Kevin Roberts to a great degree there, and that's a very positive run there for Kevin Roberts, the Foxton Flyer. Dave Simmons and John Very. We call John Very Milo because he's not quick. Get that? Sorry, it's Pip Thompson. I do apologise. My mistake. That's the first time I think I've made a mistake in about 25 years. 25 seconds? All right, 25 seconds. We'll just work with that. So Pip Thompson and Karen Wakeland. The ladies in timing here yelling at me, but I got the cans over the ears, so I couldn't quite hear that, but I certainly got the message. Oh, Pip Thompson after her, well, throwing the boat out at the hairpin last time out, really took it very, very easy there. And a 53.475 there for Pip Thompson and Karen Wakeland. Are we experiencing an earthquake up here or something? This entire tower... Oh, you're running... Stop running up the stairs, mate. You're shaking it. Get down to the gym. The Jelly Belly, rolling the whole entire commentary tower as the move up the stairs. I thought we were experiencing a bit of an earthquake up here. So we might put a sign at the bottom of the stairs in the commentary tower, no running. Scott Donald now out in wicket 2, Nicole Reesby doing the navigational duties. We're not going to see too much hernia-inducing excitement for Scott Donald until it comes to finals time. Then he usually gets up in a little bit more. It usually takes Scott just quite a few qualifying rounds just to get his head around the rotation. Now he's starting to pick up the pace. You can see Nicole Reesby making sure that Scott knows he's got to attack that hairpin. This pair from Featherston in this new package, it's looking better and better every time they come out here. Certainly self-funded, no sponsors on board there with Scotty Donald and Nicole Reesby. They'll be happy with that in a 52.296. But at the moment, it is Glenn Head with a 45.9 leading the way, with Aaron Hansen and Julianne Shanks next to come out for their run. They got a wrong way during qualifying round number 2. He won't want to be making that mistake again. Julianne Shanks, the navigator, the contract resource management planner. This boat's sponsored by Jewel Tech Consultants, Moe's Mowing and Mouthfresh, the best tasting toothpaste in the world. And of course Mouthfresh really working for environmental considerations. They have a biodegradable toothbrush made out of bamboo, so very positive to see a great New Zealand company making some positive moves towards ridding the world of some of the horrible things that we see in the wastage, plastics, etc. But in the meantime, it's back to Aaron Hansen and Julianne Shanks out on track at the moment. The Sprint Tech hull, the 500 cubic inch small block. Up the back chute into the final right-hander. Squeeze the accelerator around the speed bowl. Oh, caught a crab there, bit of water up there, and it's a 48.190, putting Aaron Hansen in front of Paddy Hayden, into P2. Still some 2.2 seconds slower than the time that Glenn Head set. Oh, we heard from Richard Murray just a little bit earlier, the pilot of the Mina machine, fueling issues causing the boat to shut out. in the first two qualifying runs. We know that that'll be in the back of his mind. They'll be hoping to find what was going on with that, with the engine analysis and the data equipment. Steve Edmonds doing the navigational duties. Richard Murray has the inauspicious knowledge that he has broken more navigators in jet sprinting than just about anybody else in the history of the sport. Steve Edmonds, brave enough to step in. He's broken Joe Rathbone's knee, broken his brother-in-law's wrist, broken Kesty's eardrum. Kesty Manning, if you're at home watching this on the live stream, big g'day to you, mate. Indeed to Joe Rathbone and Ian Carter as well. So Steve Edmonds, he either has balls or still. Oh, that was late in there. And we saw Julia Murray, Richard's wife, have a little bit of a jump through the tent. Oh, Richard will be happy with that. 47.761 into P2. Julia Murray in commentary here with me. Whew. Tell you what, she, I'm going to have to start calling her SpaceX. She nearly launched off the platform. All right, Julia Murray giving me the number one finger, saying number one bloke in commentary today is me. Rob Coley, Ange Coley, Mouthfresh coming out to track now. 600 cubic inch small block. That's right, that is not incorrect. It is a 600 cubic inch small block. Oh, Rob Coley has seen and will know the time that Glenn had posted. And he's like, you know what, Glenn? You might be able to go okay, but I can go just as quick. So it is Rob Coley gone the wrong way. He needed to turn right back there. Not sure if he knows what he's doing at the moment. Going a long, long way back to rectify this. He's now sorted that out. Oh, spun it out in the hairpin. So Rob Coley just needs to take a breath of air, slow the thinking down, slow the brain cells, slow the heart rate. He's not going to post a good time from here, but the way Rob Coley does it, still on power across the line. And that's a 61.898. I dare say that would have been the well down in, some 10 seconds or more quicker had he not got the rotational error in the middle of that run. It is now Dave Simmons and John Very going out for their run. It gets a little bit confusing when you've got a 4-boat race team. 2, 3 in Superboat, and unfortunately Ollie Birder in the Group B will not be taking any further part in the day. So that's where the mistake came. Link Engine Management System assisting this 4-boat race team. So Dave Simmons and John Very out there with the LS 6.2 litre Chev. Dave Simmons just easing it off halfway through the speed bowl there. Interesting way to go about that. Would have thought he could just keep the power into it. But Dave Simmons slowing it down for the hairpin, getting it set up. There's not a bad way to do it. Some of these guys and girls get in there very quickly and too quick on the wheel. Of course, every steering wheel input that you have, it slows the clock. So Dave Simmons and John Very around the speed bowl for the final time in qualifying 3 for the Unlimited Superboats, and across the line with a 50.818, 50.818 there for Dave Simmons and John Very. The man who wears New Zealand at number 2 after the 2018 season, Nick Berryman, coming out in the NZ Riverjet, voted by Tourism Rotorua as the best tourism activity or destination in the Rotorua area. Of course, don't forget Lakes Lodge, Lake Okataina for weddings, parties, conferences, anything, and a fantastic team down there at the Lakes Lodge. So certainly get down there, but if you're looking for some exciting activity to get into with some thermal hot springs attached to it, go down to the NZ Riverjet team there. You'll just see them on Facebook and on Google. And Nick Meremere with old man Ctas in the navigator seat, looking pretty good at the moment. Where will Nick Meremere now shoot down the middle through the first split? That's a 26.6. We'll start having a little bit more of a look at those splits as the day wears on. Nick Meremere looking pretty comfortable out there with a 410 cubic inch Whipple supercharger, a little bit wobbly down the back. Now the full pace in the run for the line, not worried about the pressure waves up the course. Nick Meremere quick with a 48.040 into P3. So it is Glenn Head with a 45.9, Richard Murray with a 47.7, Nick Meremere with a 48.04. So that winds out qualifying round number 3 for the unlimited category. I'm going to take a short break as we go qualifying round 4 for the